vision, courage, and being future-oriented. These are qualities that CK Prahalad believed were hallmarks of great business leaders. In 2019, the jury for the CK Prahalad Award for Global Business Sustainability Leadership honors the life and legacy of James E. Rogers, a man who always looked ahead, not only to the next quarter, but to the next generation. A leader who applied his passion, much like CK himself, to using technology and innovation to improve people's lives.
We want to pass what I call the grandchildren's test. Decades from now, when our grandchildren look back at the decisions we made, will they think that we did the right thing? We cannot lose sight of energy efficiency, because the cleanest, most efficient power plant is the one we never have to build.
Until his untimely passing in December 2018, Rogers led by asking those around him to envision a future they may not live to see. His life was guided by a philosophy he called cathedral thinking, modeled on the builders of medieval churches who knew they would not live to see the end result of their work, but who tirelessly devoted themselves to the legacy they were part of creating. He translated these values into action every day of his 25 years as a CEO in the utility industry, most recently as CEO of Duke Energy. Rogers led with vision and courage, growing shareholder value while demonstrating fervent support for sustainable energy. He is perhaps best known for being among the first CEOs in the electric utility industry to push the sector to address the threat of climate change, long before many of his peers. Under his leadership, Duke reduced its reliance on coal ahead of others in the industry, and before the changing economics of natural gas made it an obvious choice.
We can modernize and decarbonize our entire fleet by 2050. Whether there's carbon legislation or not, we've got to do it.
And Rogers was one of the first American CEOs to boldly advocate for federal policy to cap the amount of carbon dioxide produced in the United States.
A well-designed cap will provide a smooth transition to clean energy.
To that end, he helped found the U.S. Climate Action Partnership in 2007, a historically important collaboration of leading businesses and environmental groups that laid the groundwork for Congress to consider federal legislation regulating greenhouse gas emissions for the very first time.
The science of climate warming is clear. We know enough to act now. We must act now.
Rogers received innumerable industry awards, and Newsweek named him one of the 50 most powerful people in the world. Yet as impressive as his many accomplishments were, what was especially notable was the way he wielded that power. With a view to the future, with a commitment to humanity, and with kindness and good humor always on display. Even during his retirement, he did not rest, instead turning his attention to those in need and focusing his efforts on providing rural people in low-income nations access to clean, sustainable electricity, as documented in his book, Lighting the World, Transforming Our Energy Future by Bringing Electricity to Everyone. Throughout his life, Jim Rogers touched so many of us in the CEF community, and we are honored that the jury for the CK Prahalad Award has chosen to shine a light on his extraordinary legacy, a compelling demonstration that sustainability can be a key driver of innovation and long-term business success. He set the bar high for what exceptional, sustainable private sector leadership looks like, and we will continue to draw inspiration from his example.
I challenge each of you to think about, what one thing will you do that will truly make a difference today, tomorrow, and to future generations?